Briscoe's Megastore Drogheda.
Yes, you're very welcome along to United Park for this crucial SSE Airtricity League First Division game between Drogheda United and the visitors tonight, Athlone Town. Of course, Drogheda United find themselves top of the table after that very important and very impressive win down in Bray last Friday evening, a 1-0 win courtesy of Mark Doyle's 14th goal of the season, or 12th goal of the season rather. Mark Doyle in great form of late and nominated incidentally for the PFAI Player of the Month as well. It's rare, from what I can see, that First Division players are in the mix, so great to see Mark Doyle in there. Players just coming out on the field, as you can see, and a smattering of supporters in the ground again, as there was for the game against Shamrock Rovers a week and a half ago or so. Just before we get underway, a quick run through the teams. Well, Drogheda United have made 3 changes from the side that had that 1-0 win down in Bray. Jack Shute, Luke Heaney and Chris Lyons are in for Derek Prendergast, Stephen Meany and Brandon Birmingham. Meany and Birmingham are both on the bench. However, Derek Prendergast isn't, and we didn't inquire before the game whether he was injured or not. He must be. I haven't had an official response on that, but he must surely be injured. Derek Prendergast not in the squad at all. So 3 changes for Drogheda United tonight. 1 change, meanwhile, for Athlone Town. John Morgan comes in for David Brooks. So the Drogheda team is David Odamosu in goals, James Brown, Conor Kane, Jack Shute, Hughie Douglas. In midfield, it's Jake Hyland, James Clark and Luke Heaney, or rather Mark Hughes, and then Luke Heaney, Chris Lyons and Mark Doyle up front. Meanwhile, for Athlone Town, it's Aaron Miles, Scott Delaney, Dean George, Ronan Manning, Tanner Dogan on loan from Dundalk, of course, Adam Lennon, Kieran Grogan, John Morgan, Tamilo Tlu and Jack Reynolds and Mark Baran. So the team's just changing over now. Drogheda back in their familiar maroon, claret and blue, you might call it. They have been known to play in their black and red kit at home here on a couple of occasions this season, but back in their familiar home strip tonight, and the players just taking a moment before the game. moment's silence there. I have to admit I didn't quite catch who that was in memory of, but almost ready to go now as the Drogheda players go into their familiar pre-match huddle. As I said, a small number of supporters into the ground, which is great to see. We're so used to playing games behind closed doors now, and it's great to have a few supporters back in the ground. It does add quite a lot to the atmosphere, considering we've gone from 0 to about 70 or 80 fans, so it's really great to have fans back in. I know the club have been running a lottery among the season ticket holders to let them in, and trying to be as fair to everyone else as they can, and letting a different set of supporters in each week. So almost ready to go here. Referee tonight is Mark Lynch. He's assisted by Alan Sherlock and Shane O'Brien, and it will be Athlone Town in their chain strip of black and amber to get us underway, and away we go. Straight away it's down here with John Morgan, the one change from last week's game. It's a long ball towards Ronan Manning, and it's outrun everybody. Gone out for a goal kick. Athlone Town not having the best season in the world. They suffered a heavy defeat in that Midlands derby last week to Longford, in which Lee Duffy was sent off, and he misses out tonight, of course, former Drogheda United player. So Athlone third from bottom of the table with 9 points. Drogheda, of course, top with 30 points from their 40 games, and they've won. They're unbeaten in their last 5 games. The last defeat came just under a month ago against Cove Ramblers. That was a game in which Chris Lyons missed a penalty. So 4 wins and a draw since then has put the Drogs to the top of the table. Here's Mark Hughes. Jake Hyland in an unfamiliar position for him on the right wing momentarily, in towards Chris Lyons, back in the starting lineup. Came on as a half-time substitute last week against Bray and really put himself about and won, as he tends to do, countless free kicks. Such a valuable player for Drogheda. Only 4 goals this season for Chris Lyons, which is something I'm sure he'll be disappointed with. He has been in and out of this side with injuries, but Mark Doyle has certainly stepped up and gotten his 12 goals this season. But Lyons, in spite of not being on the score sheet as much as he would have been last year, he's such a valuable player for Drogheda. The amount of work he puts in, and such a nuisance to centre backs. Here's Mark Hughes again. Plays a long diagonal ball over here towards James Brown. Beautiful ball, and Brown just couldn't quite take it in, and it's gone out. It was a beautiful pass from Mark Hughes. It looks like Drogheda are playing with a back 3 here, with Jack Shute, Mark Hughes and Hughie Douglas. And again, we've seen this a bit more in recent weeks, the 3-4-3, with James Brown and Conor Kane pushing right up, operating as wingers really rather than the full-backs, in spite of the numbers on their backs. There's Jake Hyland there, the captain, winning it back, and Athlone come away with it again. And that was number 9 again, Ronan Manning, but he's lost it. And there's a free kick there, a rather hefty challenge from Kieran Grogan. And it's going to be a free kick to Drogheda United. A good position early on in this game. Jake Hyland with that left foot of his. And Drogheda United with 32 goals so far this season, which is exactly double the number their opponents tonight have scored. And here's Jake Hyland looking to help out, getting number 33 swung into the back post, and referee says there's a foul there. I think it was Jack Shute going up at the back. It was indeed. Restored to the starting lineup tonight. As I said, Derek Prendergast not in the starting 11 this evening. We can only assume he's been injured. We haven't received any official confirmation of that just yet, but he's not in the squad, so it can only be that he is injured, because he's been in good form of late, Prendergast. Headed clear from Mark Hughes, as I said, part of a back 3 for the moment. Drogheda, you'll find they'll play as a 3 when they have possession, and probably as a more conventional back 5. And Chris Lyons as well. I was going to say he's beaten the offside trap. I was looking at the linesman here, and he was very quick with the flag, but just for a moment I thought Lyons was away. There can't have been too much in that. But as I said, Drogheda will probably play with a 5 at the back when they are defending, as Conor Kane and James Brown tuck in. But when they're on the attack, it seems like it's just going to be a back 3 of Shute, Douglas and Mark Hughes. Here come Athlone again. Mark Baran with possession. Here's Tumelo Tlu. Knocked down the line again, and it's broken here to Manning, and he's gotten away from a couple of challenges, but he's crowded out there, and that's good play from Mark Hughes. He's given it away though, back to Tlu. He turns away from Mark Doyle, and challenge from Jake Hyland came in, and the ball out for throw in to Drogheda United over on that far side of the field. Just under 5 minutes gone here at a rather chilly United Park. David Sheehan with you on commentary tonight for LMFM. And it's a cold evening here, but no breeze to speak of, and ideal conditions once again for football. We've been very fortunate, it must be said. We did have a bit of rain in the Rovers game, but by and large, down in Bray last week as well, very still, calm evening, and the same again tonight. So ideal conditions for football, and Drogheda United will really be looking to consolidate their position at the top of the table. Just 3 games left after tonight, remember, so a win here. There's a long ball through the middle for Mark Doyle. Let's break away from that for a moment, and Doyle just couldn't quite take it in, and again it was another great ball from Mark Hughes. That's the sort of ability Hughes has in possession. He's well able to hit those long diagonal balls and those long straight balls, and on that occasion he already hit a beautiful pass over here towards James Brown. Brown just couldn't take in, but another lovely ball through the centre there, and probably one of the best passers of the ball that Drogheda have. Certainly one of the best long distance passers, Mark Hughes. And Drogheda knocking on the door early on, and referees decided Hughie Douglas was a little bit too aggressive there on Jack Reynolds, and gives the free kick to Athlone Town. Drogheda United against Athlone Town. Well, they've won 4 of their last 5. The most recent game was the only black mark in that run. They drew 3-3, of course, back on the 14th of August, where a late penalty conceded by the man I mentioned a few moments ago, Derek Prendergast, resulted in a share of the spoils. Long ball in towards the back post. David Adamosu comes, and as he has done all season, very commanding, and bowls it out straight away to Conor Kane, and he's away. Kane, Chrissy Lyons has gone a bit early, he's gone offside, but Kane has hurdled the challenge. The referee might give a free kick there. No, he decided not to. I thought Kane was challenged a little bit late. He did stay up, but the ball just ran away from him. That was a great run from Conor Kane, just perhaps took a little bit too much out of it, but again, you can't fault the effort. He's so quick, Kane, when he gets away, and it all came from David Adamosu's quick catch and throw out. He's had such a great season, Adamosu, and you consider Drogheda United, the position they're in this year, and they've come into this season with, apart from Conor Kane and James Brown as the fullbacks, they've had a new back 4 or back 5 if you include the keeper. So those players have settled in really well. Of course, Hughie Douglas and Derek Prendergast, very experienced campaigners in the League of Ireland, so you would expect them to settle in, but still coming into a new side, and David Adamosu behind him, a new goalkeeper as well, establishing himself this season. It's been a really solid season for Drogheda United so far, truncated though it is, and one can only wonder where we would be if we were towards the end of a season in normal circumstances and of 27 games, but that's not to be this season, and Drogheda won't care too much about that if they can get promoted. Mark Hughes gets his head to that one, knocks it back towards Mark Baran again, and he's harried out of it by Chrissy Lyons, and he puts Conor Kane in over on that far side, and Kane just had to let it go by him and gets his left foot onto a cross it back towards Mark Doyle, looking for another goal. He's been in such great form, Mark Doyle, of late. Puts it over the bar on this occasion, but he's been so impressive, Mark Doyle, of late. And that winner last week against Bray, so important to go down to Bray, where they hadn't won in their previous 5 visits. In fact, they'd lost every one of those games, which was a stat that Tim Clancy wasn't aware of after the game, probably just as well. And to come away from that game with a 1-0 win at this stage of the season against the team that were top of the table, remember, before the game last Friday, it's a really impressive result and a really morale boosting one. Now here come Athlone Town, crossed in, and that's gone over the bar. It was Jack Reynolds who was trying to wrap his foot around that one. Athlone Town, as I said, their last 5 results, well, they were beaten 4-0 by Longford last weekend. They had a 1-0 win against Wexford before that, and then had beaten Cove Ramblers, so they've won 2 of their last 5, 2 defeats and 1 draw, but they have taken points off Cabinteely most recently, and of course against Drogheda earlier this season, so they are well capable of getting results against the teams towards the top of the table. And we've already seen Drogheda get beaten by the likes of Cove and scrape past Shamrock Rovers too, so they won't be taking anything for granted here. And they know it's such an important stage of the season that any little slip up at all could hand the initiative back to Bray Wanderers or perhaps Longford Town, who are only 4 points back from Drogheda. Now, there's Conor Kane again in those bright orange boots, very much matching the Athlone strip tonight. Chris Lyons has a go, and that's a great save from Aaron Miles. Lyons turned and got his shot away. And a great save by the Athlone Town goalkeeper. First real chance of the game for either side. And I can tell you, in the game between UCD and Bray Wanderers, it's Bray who have hit the front there early on. Gary Shaw, the man who went off injured last week, scoring. Here comes the corner, and it's again header at the back post, and it was I think it was Jack Shute once again. That's twice now he's gotten in around the back shoot and gotten his head on crosses. So Bray leading by a goal to nil. Shamrock Rovers 2 incidentally leading Wexford by a goal to nil, but it's the Bray Wanderers result that Drogheda will be keeping a close eye on this evening, playing UCD up in Belfield, and that's a place where Drogheda got a valuable win a couple of weeks ago. 2 goals from Mark Doyle and a late goal in that one as well, securing all 3 points for them when they had been 1-0 down. And it's going to be a throw in to Drogheda United. Hughie Douglas, well, he was nearest to it, but he's left it for James Brown up the line here a little bit. Brown looking for a little bit of support. Chris Lyons comes short. He's given it to James Clark instead. Knocked down the line, and toe from Scott Delaney puts it out for a throw in to Drogheda United. Delaney, the Athlone Town captain. And I was speaking to a couple of Longford officials before the game, and they were at a loss as to why Lee Duffy was sent off last week. Got a straight red card for a challenge on, I think it was Dean Zamber down in that game against Longford, and they were quite surprised, to say the least, that he got a red for it. And he misses tonight's game and 2 further ones after this, so big loss for him. Duffy, of course, scored in that 3-3 draw against his old side back in August, and that, remember, was a game where Drogheda came from behind twice and looked like they were going to take all 3 points for the Chris Lyons penalty with 6 minutes to go, but then Derek Prendergast's rash challenge in the last couple of minutes meant that it was a penalty for Athlone when Ronan Manning stepped up to get his second of the day, and it was a 3-3 draw, so Drogheda had to settle for a share of the spoils there. They'll be looking for all 3 points tonight, though. It's Conor Kane battling with Toulouse over on the far side, and away he goes very quick. And he slipped it through while the flag goes up there. That must have been tight enough as well. It was Adam Lennon who was breaking through, and their linesman on that far side of the field was quick to put up his flag with 12 minutes gone. 0-0 here at United Park. David Sheehan with you tonight on commentary for LMFM, and also going out on the Drogheda United YouTube channel. If you do want to get in touch with us, so if you have anything to say on the game, do let us know. David S Sport on Twitter, and of course you can leave your comments on the YouTube stream as well. Now here come Athlone Town again. Play down in front of us here on this left hand channel, and it's Jack Reynolds who was away, and he's been tackled, and it's gone out for throw in to the visitors. And well in there from Mark Hughes, tenacious play from him, and it's come back to Ronan Manning, and looked like he was maybe fouled there by Jake Hoyle, and the referee says play on. And here's Mark Doyle. He's got support from James Clark. That's a good tackle, and Longford Town, or Athlone Town rather, come away with it, and it's knocked down the line, and John Morgan is going to go back. It's practice rolled all the way through to Aaron Miles, and he's let that run out for a goal kick. Just a reminder that Tanner Dogan, who's standing in the centre of the pitch at the moment, the American on loan from Dundalk, and we found out just before kick-off here that Filippo Giovagnoli will be offered the Dundalk job on a full-time basis. I'm sure all the Drogheda United fans listening in are very concerned about that, but we did think we'd bring you that little bit of breaking news after Dundalk's result last night, and a very tasty European draw they have as well. More important business from Drogheda's point of view is the gaining of promotion from the First Division. Here's Conor Kane setting off, and he's played it inside to James Clark. A bit of space for Clark now. He's got James Brown steaming up on the right hand side, a little bit behind James Brown, but he still gets his cross in, and it's in towards Mark Doyle. And that was just a fraction behind James Brown. There was still a good chance from him to cross it, but you just think if James Clark had been able to put the ball in front of his overlapping fullback, it would have created a much more dangerous opportunity. As it was, Brown had to check his run a little bit and stand up the cross. Now here's a throw in for John Morgan, the left back here for Athlone. Taking his time over it, finds Jack Reynolds, knocks it back to Morgan. He can only succeed in skying it up in the air. It's flicked on, and the boot comes in from Dean George, and he wins the free kick. Hughie Douglas making the foul. So just bang on the quarter hour mark here, 0-0 between Drogheda United and Athlone Town. I can tell you that Shamrock Rovers are 2 goals to the good against Wexford now. Shamrock Rovers 2, I should say. And they are tricky opponents for anyone, as we saw here a few weeks ago. Free kick taken by Kieran Grogan. It's a good ball as well. Well, it was a good ball, but the flag was up. So it was Jack Reynolds just getting a little bit ahead of play there, a little bit too keen. And it's going to be a free kick to Drogheda United, which David Odumosu will take. Keep the ball moving is the call from James Clark. Long ball from Odumosu. Very good strike with the ball. It's just gone over Chris Lyon's head. Kieran Grogan was just easing him off it, and it's run all the way through to Miles. And he rolls it short, and here come Athlone again. Another long diagonal ball in the direction of Reynolds. James Brown this time deals with it easily. Jake Hyland gets a flick to it, but it's knocked back in by John Morgan. And well, we did have the team sheet has Scott Delaney as the captain, but it's actually John Morgan who's wearing the captain's armband. Down in front of us, the left back. Here's Dogan, the aforementioned player on loan from Dundalk. It'd be worth keeping an eye on him as the evening progresses. Cross in, and well, it's a header at the near post there. I think it was from Ronan Manning, and no danger for David Odumosu. Ball goes wide. And it's going to be a goal kick. In fact, it was Dean George, the man who was fouled a few moments ago with the header. And now Odumosu has the goal kick. 0-0 still here at United Park. A quick reminder that Bray Wanderers are leading by a goal to 0 against UCD. And that's another game that has a huge bearing on the top of the table. And it's locked long again. Chris Lyons chasing, and that's booted out over towards the hospital there into the car park, and I think we might need another ball. Going to be a throw in for Drogheda, and it's Lyons again battling for possession. Quick reminder that the other games this weekend, tomorrow, it's Cove against Cabinteely and Longford against Galway. That's a game that will have a bearing on the top of the table if Longford can get the win. Galway had been on a great run of form until defeat last weekend. Surprise defeat really against Cove, but here come Drogheda United again, and they've slipped it through to Chris Lyons. He's got Jake Hyland in the centre if he can find him, and it's just intercepted at the near post by the goalkeeper. But again, threatening position for Drogheda United. Just haven't been able to find the breakthrough just yet, but they've been certainly the more likely, or look the more likely to open the scoring. We've had the odd threat from Athlone Town, but by and large it's been Drogheda bossing the play, as you would expect early on in proceedings at United Park. Here's James Brown on the near touchline, looking for a bit of support, slips it inside towards James Clark, and just weren't on the same wavelength there. Number 2 and number 22. And it was just a case of cross wires. Brown didn't make the run that Clark was expecting, and here is Brown again. He gets it back, plays it back to Hughie Douglas. The call comes from Chris Lyons, played in well to Lyons there. Nice layoff to Jake Hyland. It was a little bit short for Hyland, but it's a lovely bit of play from James Brown. Ball around the corner, outside of the boot into Hyland, but it's intercepted and cleared. And again, Douglas is up for it. And it's broken down. And it's good play there from Ronan Manning. Very good play from him, but he's the referee's brought it back for free kick for a little pullback earlier in that move. So 20 minutes almost gone here. Still 0-0 between Drogheda United and Athlone Town, taken by Athlone number 16, Kieran Grogan. Long, rangy figure, and he knocks a long ball towards Hughie Douglas. The header down has gone straight to an orange shirt, and it's Dogan again here. Looked like he was going to get a shot away, and his left foot slips it out to his winger instead. The cross comes in, and it's over towards the post. That's good play from Conor Kane. Gets it away, but it's come back to Toulouse inside to Mark Baran, and it's Drogheda who come away with it again. And, well, referee is given the free kick again to Athlone. And it's going to be a free kick in the centre circle to the Midlanders. Again, it's Grogan. Plays it in. It's well taken by Jack Reynolds. They played some tidy stuff, Athlone, in the Drogheda final third, or Drogheda defensive third rather. The Athlone final third, but they've just been dispossessed again there. And here's Doyle. Plays the ball towards James Clark, but that was a little bit ambitious from Doyle's point of view. And Clark, all he can do is get the block in, and it's going to be a throw in to Athlone Town. Well inside their own half, and it's going to be taken by John Morgan, the captain, down the line, and it's James Brown who gets his head to it. James Clark keeps it in, one touch and another, and then knocks it down the line towards Jake Hyland. I'm not sure Clark actually saw Hyland there. It would have been a hell of a pick out if he did, but found his captain nonetheless. Now Hyland's given it away, and it's come away to Dogan, and it's a good ball in behind Hughie Douglas, and it's Dean George who's in, gets the shot away, and Adamosu just got a touch on that. I think it looked like he was in two minds as to whether to save it at all, because I think it was going wide, but he did just get fingertips to it. But that's just an indication of the danger that Athlone can pose. Just caught Drogheda a little bit flat-footed there. Ball in behind Hughie Douglas, and Athlone Town forcing a corner, their first of the game, and it's going to be taken over on that far side of the field. And a lot of bodies in the box again. It's a good corner in, and Mark Doyle gets his head to it at the near post, but referee has spotted something in there, and there was a lot of bodies, and no doubt a little bit of pulling and dragging, but it was a really well flighted corner, a lot of pace on it, and in almost underneath the crossbar there. It was Jack Reynolds who took it, and a good striker with a dead ball, Reynolds, clearly, that left foot of his. But on that occasion Drogheda were saved from any major harm by the referee's whistle. Here's Adamosu with the goal kick, or with the kick out, free kick. 22 minutes gone, full moon over United Park tonight, and as I said, a very still, clear, calm evening for football. A little bit of a chill in the air, but nothing you wouldn't expect at this time of the year. A long ball from Shoot up towards Chrissy Lyons again. Looked like he might have been trying to win the free kick, but nothing doing. Referee Mark Lynch happy to let play go on. And here come Athlone Town again. This time he's playing it out from the back a little bit, but they'll probably look for a long diagonal at some point. They've done that quite a lot early in this game, and it's a rather loose pass from John Morgan. And here comes Drogheda again. Luke Heaney plays it into Chrissy Lyons. James Clark, once again James Brown is making a run outside him. He gets it, Brown. Again, not the best of passes from Clark, but it's into the box. Mark Doyle. Again, that's better from Drogheda United. Well done, that's better, comes the call from Jake Hyland. No breakthrough just yet from Drogheda United, but they've been creating what you would maybe call half chances as opposed to any clear-cut opportunities. Still 1-0 to Bray Wanderers up in Belfield, and as long as it stays like that, the need for Drogheda to get a goal, we've loads of time left obviously, but the sooner they can get one themselves and get themselves in front, the better from the home side's point of view here. But as I said, Athlone do pose a threat. We've seen that a couple of occasions already, and this time it's just gone off the head of number 21 Jack Reynolds, and it's going to be throw in for James Brown. Jake Hyland comes short from him, knocks it back to Brown, and he hits it first time in the direction of Chrissy Lyons. He was trying to get in behind his man, but it was well dealt with. It's come back towards James Clark. He's been on the ball a lot, Clark. Such a tricky little customer in possession. Back to Luke Heaney, the man happily recovered from injury. It's like a long spell on the sidelines, Heaney, but he's back, and a sign of the esteem with which he's held in by Tim Clancy. He's straight back into the starting lineup. He came on last week to good effect, and straight into the starting lineup tonight, so giving Tim Clancy some extra options as we get towards the crucial final few games of the season. And they've got a clean bill of health with the exception of Jordan Adeyemo and of course Eric Prendergast. It's a really strong challenge from Hughie Douglas there. Wins it well, and it's not long. Douglas gets up again. He's been such an important player for them in recent weeks. We've said it week in, week out, ever since he's come into the team. And that's a free kick given against Mark Hughes. It looked like or perhaps it was for the earlier challenge by Jake Hyland, but the challenge by Hughes looked to be a fair enough one. The ball was there. It was Dean George who went down. And again, as much as Drogheda have had the better of it so far, it's positions like these that can cause them problems. We've seen them concede from set pieces on several occasions this season, and they won't want it to happen again. Here's Ronan Manning with the free kick. Athlone's top scorer. He whips it in towards the penalty spot, and it's well headed on by Mark Hughes, and all he could do was turn it out for a corner. So another corner for Athlone, and it's going to be Jack Reynolds again who's going to traipse across and take it. Whipped one in a few moments ago to good effect, but the referee saw a foul. Now Drogheda United will be happy with something similar on this occasion, but I doubt they'll get that lucky. So they just have to be on their guard here. Athlone Town have pushed 7 bodies into the box, and it's well dealt with there. It's broken clear. Mark Doyle gets ahead, and it's come to Chris Lyons halfway inside the Drogheda half, and he's come away with it. Lyons, lovely little nutmeg, comes away, and he's played it through, almost got it through to James Clark. It was Scott Delaney who made the crucial interception. If Delaney hadn't gotten his boot to that one, James Clark was straight in one-on-one with Miles. Now here comes James Clark again, but this time his pass was just a little bit off and Chris Lyons couldn't get to it, and Athlone break. Again, another really good run from Ronan Manning. He's been the standout performer so far from Athlone. Anytime he gets possession, he's a very hard man to stop. He gets his cross in, he lost it momentarily and won it back. Lovely little double drag back there from Dean George. Back to Manning again. His attempt to cross is blocked by Luke Heaney. And it's gone out for a throw in to Athlone Town. 27 minutes gone at United Park. No goals yet, and no real clear-cut chances, you have to say. And here come Athlone again. It's George has it. Plays it back out here to John Morgan. And Hughie Douglas doesn't hang around, gets it out of that box as quickly as he can. It comes to Chris Lyons, and he plays the ball over to that far side of the field towards Connor Kane, but Kane just can't keep it in. It was a little bit overhit from Chrissy Lyons, and once it hit the grass, a dewy evening here, it went straight out for a throw in. So it's Athlone Town again. Here's Tumelo Tulu again. And the call comes from John Morgan, his captain, and he looks up and plays a diagonal ball. Up goes Jack Chute, and he was taken out in the air chute, but the referee didn't see it, or certainly didn't see it as a foul. I don't think Drogheda would have been too happy with that one. The shot was blocked from Dean George, and that's a foul surely by Chris Lyons. And Jack Chute there got up well for that ball, and it looked like he was fouled as he was jumping for it, but the referee said no. And it's going to be a free kick to Drogheda United, which is taken quickly. And it's Mark Hughes has possession now. And James Brown is in behind. Is he going to score? No, what a chance that was. We were saying it last week that James Brown was pushing forward at every opportunity. Hasn't scored so far this season, and that was surely the best opportunity he's had. Got in behind. He's been making those lung busting runs forward, and that was a really good opportunity. Just rushed it a little bit. Panicked maybe a little bit, not used to being in those sort of positions. It was a great first touch, but just couldn't keep it down. Now, Here come Athlone Town again. Another long ball down the line towards Jack Reynolds, and I don't really fancy Reynolds' chances of winning too many challenges with Hughie Douglas, but on this occasion they've worked the throw in. Dogan makes the run. Tanner Dogan, 2 goals for him so far this season, along with 4 other players, including Darren Meenan, former Dundalk player, but of course he's retired in recent weeks, so he won't be a factor tonight. Along with Sean Brennan from Drogheda, retiring mid-season. Meenan. Throw in for Athlone Town as we approach the half-hour mark at United Park. Still no goals, and the best chance of the game falling to James Brown just a few moments ago. Drogheda having to clear their lines there in a little bit of a hurried fashion. Mark Hughes putting his boot through it, and it's come back again to Athlone in the shape of Scott Delaney, and again another long ball which Hughie Douglas has no problem dealing with. And it seems like Athlone are maybe just trying to pick up the scraps off those long balls, because Drogheda are winning the vast majority of them, but Athlone are just trying to pick up the knockdowns and create something for themselves. Here comes David Odumosu. Bray still lead by a 1-0 against UCD. Now here comes Conor Kane charging forward down that left hand side. Mark Doyle has made a run for him. He's found Doyle, and Lyon slips it through. The flag's gone up. Unfortunately, Doyle was just gone a little bit too soon, and that was a lovely bit of interplay from Kane, Lyons and Doyle, and that's the sort of little triangles that Drogheda have had joy with in recent weeks in tight spaces. They'll be hoping to get their rewards if they keep up that sort of play. Going to be a free kick which will be taken by Aaron Miles, who's had a relatively quiet first half in terms of saves. There have been plenty of attacks coming towards his goal, but he hasn't had to turn much away just yet. And here come Athlone again, another ball down the line. It's a good one again, it's into George. And then another moment of danger for Drogheda there. Mark Hughes tidied it up, but again they just look a little bit susceptible to those balls over the top. Something we've seen haunt them in recent weeks on and off. Now here comes Mark Hughes, again looking up. Sparky comes to call from James Brown, and said he offs the plate into Chris Lyons, and his attempted ball to James Brown was overhit. And it's gone out for a throw in on this near side of the field to Athlone Town. And they're not in any hurry to take it. Chris Lyons retrieves the ball and plays it up towards John Morgan, halfway inside the Athlone Town half. 0-0. It's a good throw in down the line. Dean Gordon takes it in. Dean George rather. And it's played back towards Odumosu, so Drogheda can rebuild again. Dean Gordon, he used to play for Crystal Palace, didn't he? That's where I got that name from. And it's well, again, it's a quick bit of Jack Chute having to turn. He's won it well there, Chute. He showed good pace to turn and recover. And he got his foot in. And here comes James Brown again, setting off on another run. He's got Mark Doyle and Chris Lyons in front of him, and he's got James Clark beside him, and he's tried to go through the gap, and he's taken down unceremoniously by the Athlone captain, John Morgan. Is the referee going to have a word, or is he going to leave him off? It looks like he's just happy to let that one go. Again, I don't think there was any particular malice in it from the Athlone defender. So it's going to be a free kick to Jake Hyland. And we saw what he can do from these ones against, wasn't it Cabinteely? He stuck it in the top corner at the other end from a similar enough position. Maybe he was a little bit closer in on that occasion, but it's much for muchness. But in fact, he's left it, and Mark Hughes is going to take it. So it looks like he's going to play this one in. He plays it short, and Hyland's lining up the shot, and he has a go, and he struck it well, Hyland, but just pulled it a little bit. And it goes harmlessly wide in the end, but not afraid to have a go from distance, Jake Hyland. In fact, you may recall the goal, the first goal Drogheda got down in Athlone was a shot from Hyland that came back off the goal frame and deflected in off Scott Delaney. So maybe he was hoping for a repeat of that. That would be quite a coincidence if it happened, but here come again, and Manning again, he slips it through to George, and he's in, and he has a shot, and it's just narrowly past the post. And there was a touch on it, I think, from Mark Hughes, who dived in. And again, Drogheda United getting opened up a little bit too easily from their point of view. And in spite of the fact that Drogheda have probably had the lion's share of possession, Athlone, you could say, have looked the more threatening when they get into those forward positions. It's going to be a corner once again. And it'll be Jack Reynolds again to take it over on that far side of the field with that left foot. Hand goes up in the air. In it comes, dropping towards the back post. It's flicked away well there by Jack Shoot. Good header. Comes the shout from Tim Clancy, and it's a throw in to Drogheda, or to Athlone Town rather. And again, they're not in any mad hurry to take it, and it's going to be John Morgan. Looks like he's going to wind up and try and fire this one into the box. And Conor Kane is a man just behind him. We just want to keep an eye on that. The full back, it's dropped back towards the edge of the box, and it's Drogheda who get it clear. Chris Lyons holds it up, and he finds James Brown. It's the outlet down this right hand side. He plays a long diagonal ball. It's a beautiful pass over towards his full back on the far side of the field, Conor Kane, and just Kane couldn't quite take it in, but that was a real opportunity for Drogheda if Kane could have just controlled that one. But again, it's a near miss from the home side with 10 minutes to go in this first half. And as we said, Drogheda have had the better of it, but Athlone Town have definitely caused them some concern, so they can't afford to take their foot off the gas here or take anything for granted. Here's James Clark, and that's well defended by Tomelo Toulouse, but he's lost it, and it's back with Clark again, and James Brown is in, and there's two players down. And maybe the referee could have let that one go, but it looks to be a head clash there between, I think it's Mark Doyle, is the Drogheda player on the ground. Can't quite see which Athlone player it is, but I didn't actually see what happened there. It might have been that they just ran into each other, not looking at where they were going or keeping their eyes on the ball. And the referee was very quick to blow it up. I think it might be Scott Delaney. It is indeed the other player that's down. And he looks a little bit shook, but I think he's going to be okay. Meanwhile, Mark Doyle hasn't made a huge amount of movement out of him, and that would be a huge blow for Drogheda if their top scorer was to go off. He's picking himself up now, Doyle, and I think he'll be all right. But really, as I said, with 12 goals so far this season, Doyle, they really don't need to lose a player of his calibre, and certainly the form he's in. The two players bump knuckles or bump fists. I think it was a completely accidental collision, but the referee was quick to blow it up. As I said, maybe Drogheda would have felt he could have played on for another 4 or 5 seconds, but in fairness to the ref, anytime you see a head clash like that, you need to just stop the game and get the medical attention on for the players, and that's what happened. And both players thankfully are okay. The referee's going to drop the ball. In fact, he's now coming over to the bench, and I think he's going to have a word with Tim Clancy. And indeed, he's showing a yellow card to the Drogheda United manager. And it's not the first time this season that he's been in the referee's bad books. I think he was unhappy that the play was halted there. And he pulls up his snood, Tim Clancy, and sits himself back down on the bench like the bold school child. And the referee is dropping the ball, and he's letting Aaron Miles get the game underway again. And you can hear the dissatisfaction of the handful of Drogheda United supporters in the ground. With almost 38 minutes gone, another long, huge diagonal ball towards the left wing here. But again, Hughie Douglas cuts it out, and well, referee gives a free kick this time. Ronan Manning is the man that's brought down, and it was Jake Hyland who was the guilty party on that occasion. So Tim Clancy, again, he's as he said, he's had a few run-ins with referees over the years and picking himself up a booking here. But here comes the free kick for Athlone. It's knocked in towards the back post, and Hughie Douglas gets up and wins it, and it's added to then by Conor Kane and cleared by Luke Heaney down the line into the stand. And Tim Clancy just doing some tactical reorganisation there. It's hard to know how he'll feel about this first half performance. They haven't been at their best, Drogheda, but they have had plenty of possession and a few passes that were just underhit or overhit, and had they gone to the intended player, they might have had an opening, but just not quite clicking for them yet. And they have looked a little bit vulnerable at the back missing Derek Prendergast tonight, of course, as I said a little bit earlier. Now here come Athlone as we enter almost the last 5 minutes of the first half. And away come Athlone again. It's back in with Manning again, and he's played it back inside, gets it back, a lovely little 1-2. And it's slipped in behind, and it's a chance here for Athlone, and it's well saved. It was Adam Lennon who got in behind, and it was David Adamosu who had to be alerted as near post, and that's again another indication of the threat that's posed by the visitors. And Adamosu has had a couple of saves to make in this first half, which is more than can be said really for Aaron Miles. Here come Athlone again. John Morgan knocks down the line towards Jack Reynolds. Back to Morgan again, knocks it long. This time it's up towards Dean George, but man on comes the call. Nice play from Jack Reynolds. Manning gets it back to him. He's got support from George. Overhits it a little bit. George has to turn and scamper towards the sideline to keep that in. Plays it back to Manning again. He has a shot this time, but it's a harmless one. Straight into the hands of Adamosu. And as we enter the last 5 minutes of the first half, Drogheda will be desperate to break the deadlock before the break. But to be fair, you can't say that they've really carved out too many clear-cut opportunities in this first half. In spite of having plenty of possession, Conor Kane goes up for it over on the far side. The bounce goes up into the air, drops back down to him. I think the Athlone player didn't quite know where the ball was. Mark Doyle happily recovered from that clash a few moments ago and plays it back to Hughie Douglas. He knocks a long diagonal ball over to this near side to James Brown, and again his touch just lets him down. Brown, not like him in fairness, he's usually excellent in those overlapping positions, but he just couldn't quite take that one in. Slid off his boot and out for a throw in. Here come Athlone again. Hughie Douglas again advancing and keeping the pressure on. Chris Lyons was pushed in the back, was he? Well, Kieran Grogan doesn't think so, but the referee's given the free kick. I think Grogan was asking the referee what do you expect him to do. Looked like Lyons, again, as we've seen with him, he does tend to draw those fouls just by backing in or using his body to good effect. So he's won himself a free kick, and I suspect that we won't see Mark Hughes coming anywhere near this one. It looks like it's going to be Jake Hyland. So with 41.5 minutes gone at United Park, 0-0. This would be an ideal time for Drogheda United to hit the front if Jake Hyland could hit the target. And he's just inches past the post. And I don't think Miles was getting anywhere near that one. The keeper, he didn't move, and it wasn't a million miles away from Jake Hyland, over the wall and down with that left foot of his. And a near miss there from the Drogheda skipper. But the game remains deadlocked at 0-0. And looks to be still 1-0 to Bray Wanderers against UCD. Gary Shaw with the goal in that one. The man who went off injured last week, of course, at the Carlisle grounds. It looked like he had a hamstring strain, so he's obviously recovered. Here's Chrissy Lyons, man who was injured of late, but is recovered. That's offside surely against Mark Doyle. Yeah, the flag was up good and early, but again, Drogheda, well, the referee's actually brought it back for a free kick for a foul on Chrissy Lyons. He hobbles away, the Drogheda striker. Again, the linesman's flag has saved Athlone on a couple of occasions, but in fairness there, Doyle was definitely off, but the referee seen a foul on Chris Lyons and he's brought it back, so Drogheda get a second bite of the cherry with just over 2 minutes to go in this first half, plus whatever time is added on, of course. Now, here comes Mark Hughes. In fact, it was Jake Hyland to take it. Slips the ball short to Chris Lyons in the edge of the box, tries to turn of his man and get the cross in, little dummy, little trick, but it was well read there by Kieran Grogan, but they've given it away Athlone, and it's come back once again. It's Luke Heaney this time, under pressure from Dogan, and he's lost out, and the ball is knocked down the line towards Dean George. Adamosu comes out of his goal and left-footed knocks it straight back down the pitch, and it's Luke Heaney who picks up the loose ball, but he's not able to take it in. And again, it's come back here towards John Morgan, looks up, knocks a long ball down the line towards Jack Reynolds. Hughie Douglas takes it on his chest, but it's broken back to Jack Reynolds, and great tackle from Douglas, wins it back. James Brown, it's a very strong challenge from Hughie Douglas, and foot rolled over the top of the ball there, but no malice in it from Douglas. And then the foul comes in. Things just getting a little bit testy there, and the referee has shown a yellow card to Tanner Dogan, which I think is the first yellow for a player in the game. Tim Clancy picking up the first yellow of the game a few moments ago. That was a really strong piece of play again from Hughie Douglas. Just such a powerful, commanding figure at the back. Now here's a free kick for Jake Hyland into the last minute of normal time at United Park, 0-0. Drogheda United desperately seeking the breakthrough here. Hyland gets it, whips it in towards the back post again. Jack Shoot is up and it's just gone over his head, and that's the ball that they've been looking for at every opportunity in this first half. The back post ball to Jack Shoot, and I actually thought he was going to get up and get ahead on that one, but he maybe just misread it a little bit, couldn't get anything on it, and it's gone out for a goal kick to Athlone Town and Aaron Miles. And just waiting to see the board go up. We did have a little problem with the board a few weeks ago against Shamrock Rovers. It seemed to go on strike at half time, but we can see just 1 minute of added time in this first half, so wouldn't have expected a whole lot more than that. There haven't been many stoppages, and Hughie deal with it comes the call. He didn't deal with it there, Douglas, for once, in fairness to him, but Tim Clancy is bawling his centre back out of it there, telling him to deal with it. I think he wanted him to let that one long, and Douglas just got caught in possession. In fairness to him, it's the first mistake he's made in this first half, and he hasn't made too many in recent weeks either. But just a little bit lax on that one, and there's a free kick now to Athlone Town. So this will probably be the last action of the first half, and Drogheda will want to see this one out. It's a good time to score. If you're the attacking team, well, it's an awful time to concede, and here come Athlone, and it's going to be Jack Reynolds to take it. Left-footed again, plenty of movement inside the box, and he plays it in, and it's dropped, and it's David Ademosu had to be very quick to get down to that one. It was Tanner Dogan who just hit it on the spin, and that was a very good effort from the Dundalk loanee, and Ademosu had to be very quick to get down because it was a shot you wouldn't have expected, and he did well, Ademosu. So he's been the busier of the two keepers in this first half, there's no doubt about it. Athlone Town have had a few chances of their own. Drogheda have had the majority without dominating possession. They've had certainly more of the ball, but they haven't really done a whole lot with it. They've had a few half chances, but they haven't really created anything clear cut, apart from that one chance for James Brown, which he couldn't quite find the target with, and just snatched at it a little bit and blazed it over. Other than that, it's been a fairly stuttering performance from the home side here at United Park. 0-0 at the break, and I can tell you, better news for Drogheda is that UCD have equalised against Bray Wanderers, and it was the man who scored the opener against Drogheda a few weeks ago, Colin Whelan, who has gotten the goal. So that's some good news for Drogheda United in that game, because a Bray win tonight coupled with drop points for United would send Seagulls back to the top of the table. But as it stands, with Drogheda and Bray both picking up a point, the Drogs would stay top, but still 45 minutes of football to come. But that's just about it here at half-time at United Park. We'll be back in about 10 minutes' time. 0-0 here at half-time between Drogheda and Athlone Town. Do join us for the second half.
Briscoe's Megastore, Drogheda.
I'll go anywhere provided it's forward. And this time we have to go on from here. They had a dream, and that dream has come true tonight.
Briscoe's Megastore, Drogheda.
I always say I'll go anywhere provided it's forward, and this time we have to go on from here. They had a dream, and that dream has come true tonight.
You're very welcome back to United Park. David Sheehan with you on commentary here for this SSE Airtricity League First Division game between Drogheda United and Athlone Town. And not going at all to plan for Drogheda United so far. 0-0 at the break, and they really didn't have things all their own way in that first half, and they did have plenty of the ball, Drogheda, but it was Athlone Town who had the more threatening chances, and David Olamosu had to be on his mettle on more than one occasion to keep the score at 0-0. James Brown did have one good opportunity for Drogheda when he got in behind, but blazed over the bar. And apart from that, and some half chances from set pieces, they haven't really opened up Athlone Town at all, Drogheda United. And if Athlone's plan was to frustrate the home side, then they've certainly done that. And it'll be Chris Lyons to get us underway as referee Mark Lynch rolls the ball into the centre circle. And Lyons, as I said, with 4 goals so far this season, which is a low return for somebody of his calibre, but he'll be hoping to maybe get the crucial winner in the second half. Quick reminder that the other game of note at the top of the table taking place this evening is UCD's clash with Bray Wanderers at Belfield, and it's 1-1 in that one, so We're away here again for the second half, and it's Tanir Dogan who has it, and he dispossessed briefly, but it's back with Toulouse. Stocky full back, and he's played it back to his goalkeeper Aaron Miles. It's straight to, well, it's come back towards I think that's Brandon Birmingham who is in, and once again I didn't see the board going up at the start of the second half, but Brandon Birmingham certainly in, and I would think it's James Clark who has made way, just looking around very quickly. I don't see Clark out there, so I suspect Clark has taken his leave. So Brandon Birmingham in, James Clark on. Here comes the corner. James Clark gone rather. Corner from Highland was headed clear, and it's come back to the skipper again. Onto his less favoured right foot, but he made a good attempt at crossing it. Dropped back onto his left, drops it back into the middle of the box. It's come back to Mark Hughes. Thought about having a shot, Hughes, but thought better of it and has played it back to James Brown. And now Drogheda under a little bit of pressure. Brown can only just succeed in knocking it long, and it's gone all the way harmlessly through to Aaron Miles. So James Clark making way, Brandon Birmingham on. Birmingham, one of the goal scorers down in Athlone in that 3-3 draw in August, so maybe a good omen for Drogheda United to get him onto the pitch. Here's Highland, and it's a good ball in towards Mark Doyle. It was headed clear well there by Scott Delaney, but it's come back again to Drogheda, and it's Birmingham has it. He cuts it into Mark Doyle, and he fires over from just inside the 6-yard box. What a chance that was for Doyle. The best opportunity Drogheda have had in this game, without a doubt. And it's over the bar from Doyle with 2 minutes gone in the second half. Great opportunity for Drogheda United. Goes a begging there, and that's the sort of chance that they'll be looking to create. They often do with the full-backs pushing up down the wings, getting their crosses in, and really good opportunity for Doyle, and Drogheda will be hoping for more of that in this second half as they look for this breakthrough. 0-0 still here, remember, and again we'll keep an eye on that game between Bray and UCD at Belfield. 1-1 in that one at the moment. And now here come Drogheda again. Hughie Douglas knocks it long. Chrissy Lyons has it, lays it back, and he's taken out late there. Referee plays advantage, but I would imagine he's going to go back and have a word with Mark Baran. It was a late challenge, and the referee is indeed now going to have a word with the Athlone number 26. He's just having a quick chat with him. He hasn't shown him a card, which I'm slightly surprised by, but obviously felt that that was the right call. Nice little back heel from Highland, but not quite enough on it to find its way through to Mark Doyle, and I'm sure Drogheda will be more satisfied with how the second half has started. Here's Lyons, recovered from that little knock a moment ago, back towards Mark Hughes, and he skips away from the tackle. Dean George, and here's Jack Chute, a man who's missed a lot of the season through injury as well, but happily back in the starting lineup. A late foul there on Conor Kane. It was Toulouse who dived in and caught Kane on the ankle, and he's in a lot of pain, the Drogheda full-back. He's beating the ground in agony, and he's dragged himself back onto the pitch because he knows the game can't restart. He wasn't born yesterday. The referee is telling him to get off, I think, but he was quick enough to drag himself back on there, Kane. He's just down getting a bit of attention. He was in a lot of pain there, it looked like. Late challenge came in, but play is going to go on. It'll be Jake Highland to take the corner. Drogheda down a man. It's in towards the near post. Mark Doyle came across to get to it. Knocked back in by Heaney, and it's gone for a goal kick. Came off Hughie Douglas. And I'm sure this game tonight is one that Longford will be keeping a close eye on as well, and indeed Cabinteely, albeit the men from South Dublin have fallen off the pace. 3 defeats in their last 5, and they were top of the table when they came here not that long ago, back on the 7th of September, and they got a 5-1 thrashing. Their form has really gone off a cliff in recent weeks, Cabo, but they won't have given up hope of getting in through the playoffs just yet. Probably a bit of a tall order for them to get back to the top of the table at this point. But Longford, remember, in action tomorrow against Galway at home, and it's Cove against Cabinteely, so a long trip ahead for the Dubliners down to South Coast And the ball cleared there. And again, another corner for Drogheda United. They're just starting to turn the screw a little bit. Kieran Grogan got that one away. Just over 5 minutes gone in the second half. And another corner for Drogheda United, which Jake Hyland will take, their second of the half. And again, everybody forward apart from two full backs and of course David Odamosu. In, up goes Hughie Douglas, and Jack Shute was there as well. It's headed clear by Manning and it's dropped back towards James Brown. His pass was a little bit heavy, to say the least, for Jake Hyland to keep in. And it's going to be a throw in over on the far side of the field, which will be taken by John Morgan, the Athlone captain. Down towards Tanir Dogan. Again, the man I mentioned earlier on loan from Dundalk, and he nearly snuck one in at the near post just before the break. Odamosu had to be very sharp to get down to it. The ball dropped over Dogan's head and he turned and hit it under the volley as it dropped, and Odamosu had to be sharp, and that would have been a really sickening end to the first half for Drogheda United, but they survived it, and here they come once again. And again, it's Brandon Birmingham. This time it's broken kindly for James Brown. He's got another chance, this time Brown. And all he can do on this occasion is snatch at it slightly and put it over the bar. So Brown has found himself in good positions twice in this game. Probably, you might say, the wrong man in the right position, but again, Drogheda just getting a little bit more joy at the start of the second half. They've certainly started with more momentum. Haven't found the breakthrough yet though. Long ball out of the defence from Athlone. It's up towards Jack Shute. He heads it back into midfield. Jake Hyland gets it. Knocks it forward towards Mark Doyle. His flick on is intercepted by Toulouse. It comes back again to Mark Hughes. Luke Heaney has it now. Manages to get a foot to it. Toes it out towards Conor Kane. He looks to be recovered from that challenge a few moments ago. Again, it's the man who committed that foul, Toulouse, who commits another one, and the free kick is given. Drogheda to get it going again quickly. Mark Hughes. Jack Shute slides it inside to Mark Doyle. His first touch pass to Conor Kane comes off nicely, and then Luke Heaney gets it, but it's a loose ball across. It was towards Jake Hyland, but really the Drogheda captain had no chance of getting it. Here's Dogan. Plays the ball down the line, and it was a good touch from Adam Lennon, but Jack Shute was in quickly. But Lennon wins it back. He's got Conor Kane for company. Number 12 for Athlone. It's attempted cross is blocked by Kane. It's cleared towards Toulouse again. And Mark Doyle jumps and, well, he's given away the free kick. Just a little bit too keen to win that ball. Tamello Toulouse leaves it. And once again, it'll be Jack Reynolds to take it, as he has done pretty much all the way through this game. Reynolds, he's obviously the dead ball specialist for the Midlanders. And here he comes again. Athlone have pushed 6 or 7 bodies into the box. It's flicked on and it's gone out for a corner. I think it was Mark Doyle or Jack Shute possibly who got the head on that one, and it's gone out for a corner kick over on that far side of the field to Athlone Town with just 8.5 minutes gone in the second half. Corner comes in and it's towards the back post, and all on his own there was Jack Reynolds, completely unmarked. I'm not quite sure whose man he was, but he snuck in around the back and the ball dropped to him. It was like almost a set plan from Athlone that Reynolds got in around the back and nobody on him. And if he had managed to hit the target with that one, David Odamosu would have had a job on his hands to keep it out. As it was, he managed to not quite catch it the way he would have wanted, and it went wide at the near post. So another warning for Drogheda United, if they needed one, that they're far from guaranteed to win this game, and far from guaranteed to draw it the way things are going at the moment. Hughie Douglas knocks the ball long. Chrissy Lyons is chasing this one, and he's forced the corner. Again, great play from Lyons. That's his game in a nutshell. Didn't really have a chance of winning it, but he put the pressure on Scott Delaney, and Delaney was forced into heading it out for a corner. So yet another corner for Drogheda United. And management from Athlone encouraging Tanir Dogan. It's pulled back towards the penalty spot. It was Hughie Douglas who got his head to it and scrambled clear from Athlone. It was Dean George who got his foot to it, and it's gone out for a throw in, which Conor Kane will take. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Still no breakthrough for Drogheda United. They have looked a little bit better at the start of the second half. Mark Doyle looks for the free kick. Referee says no. And that's a nice bit of play from Dean George inside his own half, coming away with it. But Drogheda have won it back straight away. Mark Doyle just couldn't quite control it. And the referee is showing a yellow card to Mark Doyle there. I really don't think there was a lot in that. I think the Athlone defender, and you can accuse me of being biased, but it looked like Scott Delaney just ran into Mark Doyle and hit the deck and let out a big roar in case anybody missed it. And it's going to be a free kick to Athlone Town. So a yellow card for Mark Doyle. He joins Tanir Dogan in the book. A long ball is flicked on there by Dogan, and it's gone all the way through to David Adamosu. And again, Drogheda United look to start again. Still no goals here at United Park. And how Drogheda United would dearly love one. Bray Wanderers have taken the lead. It's UCD, I can tell you. And it's Darragh Lynch, man who came on last week with the goal. Here's James Brown, gets the cross in as Drogheda United go in search of a lead goal of their own. Here comes Tanir Dogan again. It's played back, played in field up towards Dean George. Jack Shute reads it well, comes across. Little nudge in the back there from George, and arguably a little bit fortunate to get the free kick there. There was a little nudge, but you often see those not given, and it's just as well from Drogheda's point of view that it was, because when Manning was on his way through the centre. Now here's Mark Doyle looking to get on the end of that free kick. It's come back towards Dogan. He gets it, hooks it clear over his head. And it's Dean George again. Socks down around his ankles almost. Long, spindly legs on George. But he's a tricky customer, and he's in now. He's got Jack Shute for company. Can he get the shot away? Got a deflection on the way through off Shute. David Adamosu managed to gather it in, and well, Dean George hasn't scored this season yet. In fact, two of the players who've gotten 2 goals each, and remember, Athlone have only scored 16 goals this season, but Lee Duffy and Darren Meenan, both of whom have gotten 2 goals each, aren't involved for different reasons. Lee Duffy suspended. Darren Meenan, former Dundalk player, retired a short time ago, so goals not in plentiful supply in this Athlone Town starting 11. But Dean George certainly had an opportunity there, and again Drogheda just a little bit fortunate to escape without conceding so far in this game, albeit they have been better at the start of this second half. Just 13 minutes gone, the second period, and it's going to be a free kick to Athlone Town just inside the Drogheda United half, about 10 yards in from the far touchline as we look at it here from our position on the gantry. Knocked long towards Dogan. Mark Hughes goes up for it, wins it well. Hughes, he's had a good game tonight. The man they call Sparky. Here's Jake Hyland. Knocks one long, and the flag has gone up again. And Tim Clancy puts his hands to his head. Brandon Birmingham, there was no need for him to be off there, really. He could have just held his run because he was in oceans of space. If he just checked his run a little bit or bent it a little bit, he would have been in. But unfortunately for Birmingham, the whistle went. Looking to add to his 3 goals already this season. Birmingham would join Chris Lyons on that tally of 4 if he could get one tonight. Here's Mark Doyle on 12 goals, looking to make it a lucky 13 for himself and for Drogheda tonight. Jake Hyland has it, plays it in field, and it's a poor pass, and it's intercepted well by Scott Delaney. And it's James Brown who takes it in on that far side of the field and wins the throw in front of a small handful of Drogheda United supporters and the small assembled number of press. And it's well, one back there fair and square. A cheer went up, or a shout went up from the Athlone players for a free kick, but the referee was happy to play on. And here's Birmingham again, charging through and chasing down everything there, and it was Kieran Grogan who he was applying the pressure to, but Grogan gets his clearance away, and it's back with Dogan, who's been a tidy presence in midfield. Tanir Dogan, the American, on loan from Dundalk, and it's all the way through to David Adamosu this time around. As we hit the quarter hour mark, at United Park, and still Drogheda United in search of this breakthrough goal. Hasn't come yet. Here's Jack Chute sprinting forward, a bit of urgency. His ball towards Conor Kane is a poor one, but Toulouse couldn't deal with it, and it's come back to Kane now off Mark Doyle, and his pass towards Jake Hyland again. Very symptomatic of Drogheda's performance tonight. Passes that should be going to feed are just a little bit offline. Played through towards Chris Lyons. Again, he puts the pressure on Scott Delaney, and the big defender operates a safety first policy, and Conor Hoy, the Drogheda chairman, is down there, adjusts his mask, throws the ball back in, and it's going to be Conor Kane to take it. I think Conor Hoy lost his glasses recovering that ball, such was his urgency to get it back, and it's understandable from the Drogheda chairman. Here comes Hughie Douglas across with Dean George, and Douglas again first to it. And relax is the call from one of the Athlone players as they sprint forward to take the throw in. And it's going to be Tomelo Toulouse to take it. The right back. Strong presence in that position. Here comes Manning again, brother of QPR's Ryan, incidentally, in case you weren't aware. Here's Dogan again. And it's knocked long there. That was a fairly clumsy ball through from Scott Delaney, way overhit and out for a goal kick to Drogheda United. David Odumosu will take it. Remember, Drogheda on a really good run of form. They've won 4 of their last 5 games. The only points they've dropped was in that 1-1 draw away to Longford, and that was no bad result under the circumstances. The last defeat was back at the beginning of September, that Cove Ramblers game here at United Park. They won a free kick. Chris Lyons, the man who missed the penalty that evening against Cove, fouled once again. We say it every week, but I'd love to see the statistics for the most fouled players in the division, because I would say Chris Lyons is certainly up there, if he's not far and away the most fouled player. Brandon Birmingham is standing over the free kick, as is Jake Hyland. And again, it's a sort of opportunity that Highland relishes. Mark Hughes is there as well. We saw Derek Prendergast hit a few of these recently. He's not on the pitch, of course, tonight, not involved. Birmingham comes up, and again he's just past the post. And again, I'm not sure that Aaron Miles is going to get there now. To be fair to the Athlone keeper, he might have been very comfortable that it was going wide. Hard to tell from this angle exactly how close it was, but the keeper didn't move. But another wide effort and goal for Drogheda United, and it's come through the centre here to Manning again, and again you just get the feeling that Drogheda are possibly liable to be caught at some point during the game. Here's Dogan again, and it's back again to Manning. He takes off and run. He's a tricky customer. Manning plays it off to Dogan. It's well cut out by Mark Hughes, and Luke Heaney has it now. Brandon Birmingham makes a run on the far side of the field. It was aimed at Jake Hyland, but it was intercepted well by Jack Reynolds. It's knocked forward. Jack Chute gets it away. And if Drogheda United didn't know they were going to be in for a battle before the game, they certainly know they're in one now. Here's Dogan again. He's at the centre of a lot of the good play from Athlone. Back out here again towards the near touchline. Adam Lennon gets it across. It's dropped and it's gone in. Well, did the flag go up? It did. Well, that was a brilliant save from Odumosu. He didn't know the flag was going up. It was Ronan Manning who got in there. The shot, I think, initially came in from, was it Reynolds over on the far side, and Ronan Manning was standing bang in the middle of the goal. The flag went up, but David Odumosu made a brilliant save. Again though, even though the flag went up, another sign that Drogheda can be got at here. Here's Chris Lyons at the other end of the pitch, trying desperately to make the breakthrough. Again, he's fouled. Surely the referee's going to have to show a card here. He finally does. And the Athlone defender in question, I think, is Scott Delaney. He's not happy with his defenders there. Lyons getting the run on them again. And yet again, it's another free kick in a really dangerous position. It's going to be a change for Drogheda United, and it's going to be Luke Heaney making way. And Richie O'Farrell is going to come on. So 2 changes now for Drogheda United. Richie O'Farrell and Brandon Birmingham have come in. And it's James Clark and Luke Heaney who've made way. So a free kick with 20 minutes gone in the second half. Drogheda United have been better at the start of this second period, but yet to find a breakthrough. Here's Jake Hyland. He comes up, it's straight into the wall. Really, probably a little bit too close to get it up and down there from that position, right on the edge of the box. Here's Brandon Birmingham. He's dispossessed, and it's come away. Looked like it was going to break to Dogan, but Conor Kane got there first, and Hughie Douglas hits a long ball over towards James Brown. Takes it down beautifully, Brown. Cuts inside to Chris Lyons. Cuts it back to Brandon Birmingham, and his shot was blocked, and the hands go to the head. That's better again from Drogheda United. Just need to keep this momentum going and try and force that opening goal. Here they come again. And it's headed back down towards the edge of the box. The flag has gone up, and I can tell you that Bray Wanderers have scored again in Belfield. Dylan Burnett, the left back, has scored their 3rd goal of the evening up there, so they look like they're home and dry with a 3-1 current score line. The same result, of course, as Drogheda had up in Belfield. So as it stands, Bray Wanderers would leapfrog Drogheda. They would go on to 32 points. Drogheda would be on 31. That's as it stands, of course, but there's still plenty of time to go. 22 minutes gone in the second half here at United Park, so just on the halfway point of this second period. Dogan gets it over on the far side of the field again, skips away from a couple of challenges, and it's well blocked there by Hughie Douglas, and it's gone out. In fact, it's come back off the Athlone player, and it's gone out for a throw in to Drogheda United, which James Brown will take in front of the clubhouse on the far side of the field. It's knocked back in, and it's come to Manning, and James Brown wins it back, and it's played across to the near side by O'Farrell to Conor Kane. Mark Doyle gets it now. He's got Toulouse for company. Sticky presence. That's a great ball across towards James Brown, and he lets it run, and it's come to Brandon Birmingham now as Drogheda United try and go through the gears here and really put the squeeze on. The ball was played through by O'Farrell towards Mark Doyle. He was just caught on his heels a little bit, and it was intercepted. It's come back again to Mark Hughes. Plays a lovely ball over towards Birmingham on that right hand touchline, looking to take on his man. Birmingham gets the attempted cross in, is blocked. It was John Morgan who was in front of him, and he did well to get the block on it. So it's another corner to Drogheda United, and it will be Jake Hyland to take it. We must be approaching nearly double figures at this point for corners for Drogheda. They haven't made a count yet though. Here comes Jake Hyland, left-footed, swings it in. It's a good ball. It's headed well clear, and again the referee's given a free kick. It was Jack Reynolds who did well to get his head to it, and the referee saw a push in there, I think. He's given the free kick, and again a little bit of momentum that Drogheda United had. It's just taken out of the game as Athlone reorganise and regroup and take their time with the free kick, and you can expect that to happen from now on out because they're in no particular hurry, and why would they be? They'll just try and ease their way along through the second half and maybe create another chance or two. They've created a few so far, remember, so it's not like they've just come here to park the bus. They've offered plenty in attack as well at Athlone Town, and that's a foul by Mark Baran, and he was lucky to get away without a booking earlier. And again, I can see the Drogheda bench on the far side wondering what you have to do to get a booking at some point in this game, but Baran has certainly been right in his luck, and I'm surprised the referee didn't maybe issue a last warning there, but happy to let it go, and it's going to be a free kick to Drogheda United just inside the Athlone Town half with 25 minutes gone in the second half. Mark Hughes drops it up towards, well, it's well beyond everybody, too much on that one, and it was a straight enough ball as well. And now Jake Hyland has to cover back in defence. James Brown comes across. Odamosu had nothing other than getting it out of his way in his mind. He really had no choice but to just give that one a bit of air, and it's gone up onto the roof of the stand, and I'm not sure we're going to see that ball again this evening. Throw in taken, and Drogheda have won it back, but they've given it away as soon as they do. But Athlone have now given it away. Now Drogheda have given it away. Scrappy play from both sets of players there. Mark Hughes intercepted it but gave it straight back to an orange shirt. That's a great run over on the far side of the field by Baran. And he's cut it back and it's dropped for Dogan. Is that a penalty? I think it is. It was, I think, Conor Kane with the foul. And, well, that was a brilliant run. And I'm fairly sure it was Mark Baran who made it. 26 it was, and he scampered by 3 or 4 players, and Tanir Dogan shaped to shoot, just dragged it back and he was taken down. Here's Adamosa, they need him here, but he hasn't been able to save it, and Manning finds the net with 26 minutes gone in the second half. And Manning from the penalty spot with his 7th goal of the season. And Tim Clancy is not a happy man over on that far side of the field, and that's a disastrous set of events for Drogheda in this second half. Did mention it earlier, Bray Wanderers leading 3-1 against UCD, and now Athlone Town have hit the front here at United Park. And as we said earlier, it wasn't like they hadn't created their chances. It wasn't like they'd come here to come away with a point. They'd offered plenty going forward, and that was another example of it there. Dogan just a little bit too cute. I think it was Conor Kane, you can see it back to be sure, that made the challenge. But Dogan just drew him in, pulled it back with his left boot, and once the tackle came in, it was going to be a penalty all day long. And now Drogheda, once again, as they have done so often this season, find themselves a goal behind and really needing to pull something out of the bag here. James Brown just lost his footing a little bit there, and Athlone Town come away with it. And Dean George is one-on-one here with Jack Chute at the back, and Chute gets the challenge in, and it breaks back into the grateful arms of David Adamosu. And Adamosu, remember, had that penalty save against UCD at a crucial time. They were 2-1 up at the time, Drogheda. On this occasion, however, he wasn't able to produce the heroics that we've seen him do on so many occasions this season. The ball comes in from Brandon Birmingham. Mark Doyle, don't think he was just expecting that one. It was right inside the penalty box, just on the edge of the 6-yard box. And there's going to be a substitution here. It's going to be Jake Hyland to come off, and it's very rare that we see Jake Hyland substituted, but he throws the captain's armband away and he high-fives Tim Clancy, but he's doesn't look like a happy camper, Hyland. And we did hear Tim Clancy giving him a few instructions after the penalty went in, so I wonder is it related to that. But it's Stephen Meany who's come on for him, so the captain's gone off. And Drogheda, well, they're certainly up against it here. They've got just about 20 minutes to turn this one around, and this could be, as all these games are at this point of the season, critical juncture for the men in claret and blue. Here's Conor Kane, he's giving it away. Manning gets it back, and here's Dogan, the man who won the penalty. A few step overs, and Conor Kane isn't going to fall for that kind of thing. And again, Brandon Birmingham just couldn't quite get there. It was well intercepted by Sean Morgan, and again, if Birmingham had managed to get clear there, he would have been in. And Hughie Douglas gets it, boots it up in the air for himself, but he's won the goal kick, fortunately enough, down in the corner of the field there. And Drogheda United once again will look to get going. So it looks like they've got a 4-man front line at this point. They've Mark Doyle, Chris Lyons, Stephen Meany and Brandon Birmingham. So they're gone 3-3-4 possibly. And here's Mark Hughes, plays a long diagonal ball to James Brown. Lovely ball, well taken by Brown. Inside towards Chris Lyons. Can he get away from his man? He just turned, and just for a moment it looks like he was going to be able to turn and get a shot on it, but just got away from him, and it was well defended. I think it was Scott Delaney that came across. And again, Drogheda's attack just breaks down, and it's going to be a free kick, and again it just allows Athlone to take a little bit of the sting out of things. And there's a player down up to our right hand side here. And interesting to note, we're looking at a shortened season this year obviously, but if you were to compare Drogheda this season with last, in their 27 games last year they took 1.89 points per game on average, points from each game. This season they're up to 2.14. Just to look at the figures earlier on before this game to see how they compared to last season's form. So they're certainly a lot better off this season in terms of their points per game return, but that won't count for much if they can't get the promotion that they've been so desperately looking for in recent seasons. They've come so close via the playoffs, and they'll really want to just finish top of the table and get out of this division. And looks like a lone player has gone off to receive a bit of attention over on the far side of the field. We'll keep an eye on that. And there's in fact there's been a change. Shane Nealon has come on, and I think it's Dean George who has made way. So George, who had a busy game, had a half chance of a goal at the start of the second half, so he's hobbled off and Nealon is on. Ball comes in and Nealon, with almost his first touch, I'm sure it probably was his first touch, gets the shot off with his left boot. It goes harmlessly wide, and David Odmosu again can get things going. And we're into the last quarter of an hour here at United Park, and desperate times for Drogheda. We really need to get something out of this one. Here's James Brown, knocks one down the line. It's over the head of Chris Lyons. He's chasing it, and for a moment there it looked like there was going to be a little bit of a mix-up between Scott Delaney and Aaron Miles. But it's gone all the way through to the Athlone netminder, and he will knock one long, and it's up towards Nealon, but it's gone all the way through. Conor Kane quickly throws it back to David Odmosu. There's no time to waste now for Drogheda as they seek this equaliser. Quick reminder, if you've just joined us, that Bray Wanderers are leading by 3-1 against CD. Shamrock Rovers 2 incidentally are leading 2-0 down in Wexford, but it's the Bray game that will be front of mind from Drogheda's point of view. The Seasiders will go back to the top of the table if things stay the way they are here, and it will take a bit of a turnaround for Drogheda to go back to the top at this point. They'll need to win this one, unless UCD can pull off some heroics up in Belfield. Here's Jack Shute, he's looking for some options. He finds it in the shape of Richie O'Farrell. He plays it in field to Mark Hughes, strides across the halfway line, fires one through, but again, way too much power on that. And again, just not quite clicking for Drogheda, and referee has gone in to tell the goalkeeper to hurry up. I think he's telling him to make his way across the boards where the ball is going out before it goes out, but I'm not sure the referee or the goalkeeper is going to take that sort of information on board. If I was him, I'd be doing exactly the same thing. 1-0 lead with time ticking down. He's not exactly going to be sprinting over to recover it. Hughie Douglas gets up well, heads it out. It's going to be a throw in to Athlone Town, and again this will suit them down to the ground. Tumelo Tulu will take it inside towards Manning. Now here comes Stephen Meany, lovely little turn. He's got a bit of help from Jack Shute if he can slip him in. Shute galloping forward from his centre back position, plays it back to Conor Kane. Drogheda going to have to throw the kitchen sink at this one in the last 15 minutes or so. Here's Kane, Richie O'Farrell, his ball is straight at Dogan. Really poor effort at the cross there from Richie O'Farrell, just didn't get enough on it, get under it enough. Good pressure though from Stephen. It's broke back to Mark Doyle on the edge of the box, and he snatches at it a little bit. And some angry words being exchanged at the back there. Kieran Grogan is bawling one of his teammates out of it. I think it's Adam Lennon who's getting a flea in his ear. But it's going to be a goal kick for Athlone. They've survived that one. Again, Mark Doyle just a little bit anxious to get the shot away there. He maybe could have taken another touch, settled himself. Richie O'Farrell gets up and wins the header. in the direction of Chrissy Lyons, but it's Biran who wins it, and it's come back to James Brown again. Brandon Birmingham outside him. Slips it inside, but again, Stephen Meany just not reading the pass at all, really, and just a little bit slow to get out to it, and he's tried to win it back, and he's taken it, Scott Delaney out of it, and again Delaney off for the first time tonight has gone down. He's up, he's hobbling away, he looks like he'll shake that off. He's a strong character at the back, and again it'll be a free kick which Aaron Miles will take. Knocks it long, and again Hughie Douglas gets his head to it, not for the first time tonight. He's dealt with so much danger tonight, and that's a lovely bit of play over on the far side of the field. And again Manning just taking on 2 or 3 players, winning the free kick, and again more frustration for Drogheda United as they are powerless to do anything about it and won't be able to get back up the field right away. So we've got 36 minutes gone in the second half, into the last 10 minutes at United Park. And Drogheda United having to defend, and it's really down the other end of the field they need to be. The ball comes in towards the back post, and Richie O'Farrell, I actually thought he missed that completely, but he's obviously gotten a little touch on it, and it's gone out for a corner kick. So again, Drogheda need to just be on their guard here and make sure they don't concede anything else, and hope they can nick one at the other end and get out of this with at least a draw. We mentioned earlier on commentary that Athlone have taken points off the likes of Cabinteely, and they've beaten Cove Ramblers recently as well, so there are no mugs by any means. They've given a good account of themselves here tonight, and they lead 1-0. And we're well inside the last 10 minutes. A free kick given, and another card, and this time it's to the substitute Shane Nealon. So yellow card for Nealon, and a free kick to be taken by Mark Hughes again. And again, we can't stress it enough, imperative to Drogheda get something out of this. Still plenty of twists and turns to come. We have only 3 games left, but you can expect a few more dramatic turns in this one before the season is out. It's dropped back towards Richie O'Farrell on the edge of the box, but now the break is on, and it's a heavy touch from Nealon, but they've won it back, and Dogan spots Odamosu off his line, and it's in. Would you believe it? Tanir Dogan from inside the centre circle spotted Odamosu off his line, and he's executed that one perfectly, and there's nothing you can do about that. And that is game, set and match, and curtains for Drogheda United tonight, I think. Well, what a goal from Tanir Dogan. We saw Odamosu almost getting caught out like that a few weeks ago, and he got back on that occasion and turned it around for a corner. But this time around, Dogan, maybe he was watching that footage, but as soon as that ball broke to him, he didn't hesitate, and it was a very measured shot. It wasn't that he hacked at it, it was a beautifully struck effort, and it sailed over Odamosu's head just under the crossbar, and it's 2-0 to Athlone Town. And I think, barring a miracle here, and we've seen a few of them recently, we can say Drogheda aren't going to come away from this game with anything. But here comes Conor Kane as they look to pull one back straight away. Comes back to the edge of the box, is hooked clear, and here's Manning. Hughie Douglas comes across, keeps it in well, and places down the line towards Brandon Birmingham, trying to create something into the box. It's in, and it's a great opportunity. It was Chris Lyons, and he may have just taken it off the head of Mark Doyle. There were 2 of them in there. Lyons was the one that got the touch, but Doyle was just behind him, and again, hard to tell from this particular vantage point, but it looked like Doyle might have been able to get in behind and make the contact and put it in the net, but that hasn't happened. It's 2-0 to Athlone Town, and really, in fairness to Tanir Dogan, if there was a way to win a game, that's the way to do it. And I can see that Hughie Douglas has gone up front as an auxiliary attacker, so it's all hands to the pump from Drogheda's point of view here. but it really looks like a lost cause at this point in time. And well, Adamosu is just scratching his head up there, but in fairness to him, he was off his line, but no more than any goalkeeper would be in that situation. It was an absolutely perfect shot from Dogan. If he placed the ball into the net with his hand, he wouldn't have put it in a better spot. And David Beckham-esque against Neil Sullivan. But in fact, in fairness to Tanner Dogan, it was actually more into the top corner than that one. And Adamosu, he was backpedaling quickly, but just couldn't get to it. And we've another player going off injured on the far side of the field. I think it's possibly Jack Reynolds making his way off. It is indeed, and it's Evan White coming on. I'll say one thing for the fourth official over there: he doesn't hold up that board for too long. It must be running low on batteries again. Long kick out from Adamosu. Jack Shoot goes up for it and it gets him on the back of the head, Shoot, the way he was turning, but it could be a painful one, but he gets it clear nonetheless. It's knocked through, and now the flag goes up again. Shane Nealon was away, and flag goes up, and here comes James Brown. Drogheda desperate to try and get one back here and give themselves some kind of a foothold in the game. We're into the last 5 minutes, and high ball up into the dark night sky, and it's dropped down. It's well dealt with there by Mark Hughes. Conor Kane on the near side, knocked inside, put it in, comes the call. Richie O'Farrell has it, he tries to put it in, but it's knocked back in the second attempt. It's just way too loose from O'Farrell, and it's gone all the way through to Miles again in the Athlone Town goal. 2-0 to Athlone with just about 3 minutes of normal time to go, and 3 points slipping away from Drogheda United here. Bray Wanderers still have a 3-1 lead up in Belfield. That game is almost over. Both of these games kicked off at the same time, and what that result tonight will mean is that Bray, having lost to Drogheda United last week down at the Carlisle grounds, a result that really looked like a huge step towards automatic promotion for Drogheda United, well, Bray will now go back on top of the table. They'll have 32 points from their 15 games. Drogheda will stay on 30 points, and if Longford Town can win tomorrow when they take on Galway, they will be back to just a point behind Drogheda United. So again, it's notoriously tight at the top of this first division. Manning has a crack straight into the chest of Mark Hughes, and here comes Brandon Birmingham on that far side of the field. It's good pace from Birmingham, but he's just got a little bit too much work to do for himself, and well covered around there by Mark Biran. Mark Hughes makes a good strong challenge over on the far side of the field in front of the Athlone Town dugout. And with just about 2 minutes of normal time to go here at United Park, it looks like another disappointing home performance from Drogheda United. Their last defeat came here against Cove. Since then they've won 4 of their last 5 games, but it looks like that run is going to come to an end. That unbeaten run is going to come to an end here in somewhat unlikely circumstances. Drogheda would have been heavily fancied before tonight's game to take all 3 points, but it hasn't worked out that way. And here's a double substitution for Athlone, and once again we're having to be quick on our marks here to see who's coming on and off. It's going to be Bradley Akaja coming on for Adam Lennon, and just give the fourth official a moment, and it's Israel Kamozo coming on for Tanir Dogan. So I'm sure if there was a crowd in the ground, you'd be getting an ovation from his own supporters, Dogan, but unfortunately that's not the case. Certainly no away fans in here, a handful of Drogheda supporters, and they'll be very disappointed with what they've seen tonight. Here's Jack Shoot. Conor Kane on this near touchline, back to shoot again, as Drogheda look to just get a consolation goal at this point back towards Mark Hughes and David Odumosu. Jack shoot again. Richie O'Farrell comes short for it, knocks the ball. A lovely ball down the line towards Conor Kane, but again, Kane was just crowded out of it by Scott Delaney, and the referee has given a corner kick to Drogheda United. And it's going to be Brandon Birmingham to come across and take it. Richie, or rather Jake Hyland, of course, the man who normally takes the corners, has gone off, so it's going to be Birmingham to take it. And again, as we said, this is just going to be a consolation goal, if anything, for Drogheda if they could get one back here. And it's gone all the way over, beyond everybody, over on that far side of the field, and out for a throw in to Athlone Town, which John Morgan, a very happy captain, is strolling over to take in front of the orange high-vis jacket, smashing his jersey, and it's broken away and knocked very long again, all the way through to David Odumosu. Takes it in, Odumosu, and rolls it out towards Jack Shoot. And again, Drogheda, they've kept going, in fairness to them, but just hasn't really happened for them tonight. They were better in the second half, but just couldn't get things going enough and couldn't break the deadlock. And then you're always at the mercy of a rash challenge or a decision from a referee, and that's exactly what happened with the penalty. And it was Hughie Douglas gets up, he gets one in the face for his troubles. It's broken back in towards the box, and referee again has blown his whistle for a bit of attention for Athlone player who's taken the bang in the head. But as I said, when you're 0-0 in these games, all it takes is a deflection or a free kick or a challenge in the box, and the next thing you're up against it. And that's exactly what happened. And Dogan was taken down unceremoniously. There was no doubt about the penalty being awarded. It was certainly a spot kick, but it was a little tricky bit of play from Dogan. And again, I think it was Conor Kane that took him down. We need to see a replay to be sure about that, but one of the Drogheda defenders just lunged in, as happened in the game in Athlone a little while ago when Derek Prendergast gave away the penalty late on. So Drogheda have just had a bit of bad luck in terms of conceding penalties due to rash challenges against Athlone Town. It's cost them dearly here tonight. And then that wonder goal from Dogan from inside his own half, almost sealing the victory here for them. And here they come again. Richie O'Farrell loses it, wins it back well though. And the referee has given a free kick to Drogheda United, which I'm surprised by, I must say. And it's going to be taken by Richie O'Farrell. He plays it out here towards Conor Kane on the near touchline. He gets his cross in towards the back post. Hughie Douglas was going up for it, but wasn't able. Was going to go beyond everybody, that ball, and just gone out for a throw in. And again, it just sums up the evening for Drogheda. Just an overhit cross and harmlessly out, and that's just been the story of it. Passes just not going to their intended targets, crosses just missing out their men, near misses, but and then Hughie Douglas goes in with a challenge that's going to earn him a booking. Nothing malicious in it from Douglas, just a little bit too eager to win the ball back, and deservedly picks up a yellow card for his trouble. So he joins Mark Doyle in the book and Tim Clancy. And with time almost up now, again, we didn't see the board going up, but the fourth official has been very economical with his use of the digital board, so I would suspect maybe 3 minutes or so of added time. There have been a few stoppages in the second half, but certainly not going to be enough time for Drogheda to find 2 goals, that's for sure. It's gone all the way through to Odumosu for a goal kick. Still 3-1 to Bray Wanderers up in Belfield. As Drogheda come again, which are probably one of their last attacks. It's knocked down the line towards Brandon Birmingham. He gets his cross in. That's come safely into the hands of Miles, but in fact it's gone out for a corner. So another corner to Drogheda United, and they've had so many of these tonight, but they haven't managed to make any of them count. Brandon Birmingham's going to take this. Going to be an outswinger on the right foot. He actually cuts across it a little bit, so drops it in towards Hughie Douglas. And with that goes the final whistle. It's all over. And Drogheda United has suffered their first defeat in 6 games. A 2-0 defeat here against Athlone Town, and a really disappointing result and performance as well, to an extent you could say, for Drogheda United. They never really got into top gear, and as long as it was at 0-0, you always worried that Athlone Town were going to find the breakthrough. They had looked likely in the first half to score, even though they didn't probably have as much possession as Drogheda, but they definitely looked dangerous, and they certainly didn't come here for a draw. As we said, they looked to attack and get in behind Drogheda every chance they got, and they found the breakthrough in that second half when Tanir Dogan was taken down and Ronan Manning stepped up and slotted the penalty to David Odumosu's right. And then, just to finish the game off, Dogan, with an absolutely stunning effort from just about the halfway line, saw Odumosu off his line and pinged the most beautiful, if you were a golfer you might call it a nice 7-iron, over the keeper's head and in the top corner. No chance for the goalkeeper, and that really was good night for Drogheda at that point. They fought manfully to get back into it, but it was to no avail, and they have been beaten here by 2-0 by Athlone Town. The next game for Drogheda is away to Galway next Friday, so that's not going to be an easy trip for them. And with Bray Wanderers winning tonight, it means that the Seagulls go back to the top of the First Division. They're on 32 points, top of the table. Drogheda 2 points behind them on 30 points. And then it's Longford Town on 26, but Longford, of course, have a game in hand. So if they win tomorrow, they will be just a point behind Drogheda United. So with 3 games to go, still all to play for here, but Drogheda have missed a really good opportunity to consolidate the position at the top of the table. And in fairness, you couldn't really make a strong case for them deserving to win this game tonight. Longford Town, or rather Athlone Town, were well worth the win, I would say. They created the better opportunities really throughout the game, and even though it was even for a lot of the match, they just looked like they were always likely to pick Drogheda defence open and take a chance if they got it, and they did that. Drogheda huffed and puffed, but without really creating any outstanding chances of their own. So that's it here from United Park. A very disappointing result for Drogheda United, their players and the handful of supporters here, and I'm sure everybody watching online as well. It's ended here in a 2-0 win for Athlone Town. Galway United next Friday over in the west of Ireland. So a tough one for Drogheda. They'll have a week to recover and gather their thoughts, but that one is now looking like a must-win game, you would say. That's just about it here from United Park. For myself, David Sheehan, for LMFM. Thanks so much for tuning in. Do join us again next week from Eamon DC Park.
Briscoe's Megastore, Drogheda.